Friday morning, everybody, and welcome to the Steve and Nina Show. Fridays, I try my best to always have a very small Bible lesson, and we're still working out of the top 100 women of the Bible. It's a devotional journal, and not got a whole lot left to go in this, but the story that we're going to be reading and learning a little bit about today is the widow who gave 2 mites. And that story is found in the 21st chapter of Luke, verses 1 through 4. And we're going to go ahead and read from the Bible first. And it says, "And he looked up and saw the rich men casting their gifts into the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow casting in thither 2 mites. And he said, Of a truth I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast in more than they all. For all these have of their abundance cast in unto the offerings of God. But she of her penury hath cast in all the living that she had." So in other words, that's telling, he was telling them, you guys have only given just a little part of what you have. She gave all that she had. And still holds true today, doesn't it? In a lot of different ways, a lot of different things. So let's see what the journal has to say. In just a few words, we get a picture of 2 kinds of people: the wealthy and perhaps somewhat generous givers who could put bags of money in the temple vaults, and a woman who gave much more. Jesus had just warned his disciples of the love the religious leaders had for places of honor and the gain they made from defenseless widows. At that moment, a generous woman walked into the treasury and dropped in her tiny offerings. How could her almost valueless coins compare to their greater gifts? While the rich gave of their extra money, she had deposited all her income into the bank of God. What a sacrifice that must have been. Can you imagine her thinking beforehand? I need to give something, but this is all I have. How will I have enough food? What if I have a crisis? Whatever her worries might have been, the woman put her complete trust in God and dropped the coins into the temple chest. Maybe she gave the 2 mites instead of 1, because the single mite would not have even bought her a loaf of bread. Can we have any doubt that God blessed her richly for this incredibly generous offering or giving? This humble woman gives us a painful example. If we look at ourselves honestly, we probably have to admit that we're more like the rich men bringing their offerings than the woman who put in all she has to live on. We may plan on our giving, working it into our budgets, but she gave her whole budget. She gave 100%, while many faithful Christians today squawk at giving a small portion of their income. We cannot give too much to God. He's not demanding destitution for us, but calling us to give our all, spiritually and physically, into his keeping. He who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills will never let us fail, if only we trust in him. Wow, that's a beautiful, beautiful story, and it's scary. How many of you have been there in your thinking of maybe you don't tithe to your church. Maybe your way of tithing is maybe giving to someone that you know is in need. Maybe it is buying groceries for someone that you know that is in need. But maybe it is tithing. And maybe you had a check come in, maybe you didn't know about. Would you just give whatever percentage you think? Some people give 10%, and we'll just stick with that. Have you ever thought to yourself, I really needed all of that, but yet maybe you weren't expecting it to begin with? Well, I know of people that, with the money that the government gave everyone here in United States, I know, we got $1,200 a piece, and we used that to better our tiny little homestead here. But I do know people that gave it to others that were in far, far greater need than they were. Maybe they ended up helping somebody out get groceries, or maybe they helped somebody pay their rent or their house payment or whatever. Sometimes for those that live on a very tight and fixed budget, that type of giving is very, very hard, because you do think, oh my goodness, what am I going to do if I help that person out or whatever? How am I going to make it? What if I don't have enough meals to last for the month? And I honestly have struggled with that stuff. I guess because for the last several years we've lived really tight, and in the last few months it's been so much better, thanks to God's blessings on our lives. But I think it seems to be tougher when you live on such a fixed income, and I think you're more fearful. You're more fearful about where your next meal's going to come from, or when that next bill's going to be paid. In all actuality, God promises that He's not going to let us fall. He's gonna help us, and He's gonna help provide our every single need. And the way that He does that is sometimes use people that have the sources, like these people I was talking about, and it's not us, but it's people that I know and I'm extremely close to. They were able to gift to others the money that they had gotten from our government. And it wasn't me. I wish it could have been, but we were in need of so many things at that time, and God took care of our needs. But by opening up that couple's heart, they were able to grant the needs and meet the needs, I should say, of this other family. And I'm sure that other family was probably praying, God, how are we going to do this? We need our rent paid, or we need this, or whatever. And that's how God does it. He uses us, His people, called by His name, to bless others. And that's not the part I have a problem with. I absolutely love giving to others and blessing others. But the part that I have is when I myself get in the way. And I guess it's a little bit of a doubt. I doubt, am I going to be taken care of? Now, yes, over the years, and over especially the last few 6 months or so, I've really learned valuable lessons. Just like when I had my heart attack and had the open heart surgery, and they went in there and were able to bypass 3 of my arteries. And I didn't have insurance then, remember? I was in between having federal help from like the Medicare or Medicaid, and Medicare. I always say those wrong. But anyway, I was trapped in between having nothing. And God made it a way that the hospital had people that donated to help pay for people like me that didn't have enough, money to pay for my bills. And every single one of those hospital bills was paid in full. And So I have learned so much and God has really shown me. And sometimes I'm a little hard-headed and I have to be shown a couple times, but he's patient and loving and he does that for me. He'll show me time and time again sometimes what I really need to learn and keep planted in my heart and in my head so that I'll be more giving to others that God is calling me to be giving to. So yeah, it's all about, I guess, not being stingy. And I'm not talking about giving away like this lady did, where she gave away all that she had. Goodness gracious, I'm not talking about that unless God absolutely commands you to. And I'm not sure that would ever happen nowadays. But what I mean is if you have been, someone is on your mind, like these people I was telling you about, that touched my heart, that they could have probably used that money like any of us could. But God put it on their heart to help somebody, and they did. And what a blessing. And I'm sure God's going to bless them. And, you know, we're not supposed to tell people either. When we're able to help bless somebody else's life, we're not supposed to go and tell everyone, oh, look what I did. And this person did not do that at all. And so God's going to reward them. I think he has. But things that are done in private will be rewarded openly. So this is maybe their little reward. It's my little YouTube channel. The people are going to be saying a special prayer for them because they gave what they had to help others. So let us just keep that in mind. And if God puts someone on your heart and you think that you might be of a help to them, then don't be afraid. I mean, even if it is something as simple as God has put on your heart to pray for a certain person every day at a certain time. You know, that's a lot of giving. You're giving of your time, and yeah, that would be something wonderful to do. Or maybe that God's put on your heart that your neighbor maybe needs a gallon of milk, or maybe they have children and you've noticed that the kids haven't had, maybe you haven't had popsicles this year. Maybe that's something that you could do. Run out to the store and get them a box of popsicles and surprise them. You know, it's sometimes big things that really make the difference, but sometimes it's the little things too that make a big difference in someone's life. And especially in a child. On a hot day, having a cold, ice cold popsicle. Yeah, I'd say that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, whatever God deals with you on, it's between you and God. And I'm just coming up with things in my head. But yeah, we can be like the lady that gave all that she had. We can be. And I know that God would bless us. And he has blessed all of us, I'm sure, in many ways. But also, let's at least give of some of what we've been blessed with in our lives. So don't forget to give to maybe to your church or to a special organization or someone that you know is trying and they just need a little helping hand up. So, all right, that's going to be the lesson for today, and I hope that, you know, it's helped a little bit. It's made me sit here and think, and it's brought a lot of things to my mind that I needed to really start thinking about and focusing on. And maybe God, you know, it's so funny to me how God, during this little short time of a Bible study, he will deal with me right here in front of the camera, and he'll put things in my mind and he'll put things in my heart. And I'm like, okay, God, I got it. I understand. So yeah, he's been working with me as I've been sitting here chatting with you. So I know what I have to do today. Do you know what you have to do? Let's do it with a smile on our face and a smile on our hearts, because God is so good and so very deserving of all praise that he will get. All right, God bless you all. Have a great day. It's been rainy here, but that's okay. The garden needed it, right? So we're going to sit and watch it grow. Maybe tomorrow's supposed to be a nicer day out, and we'll bring you guys along with us and show you around a little bit the work that we've been getting done. So talk to you later. Bye-bye.